Soon after the attacks, however, U.S. government officials said they had evidence tracing the terrorists to a Saudi Arabian, Osama bin Laden, who was thought to be living in Afghanistan. U.S. officials demanded that the Taliban government, the rulers of Afghanistan, turn bin Laden over to the Americans.
I want justice. And there's an old poster out west, as I recall, that said, "Wanted, dead or alive."
In Afghanistan,
when the Taliban leaders claimed not to know bin Laden's whereabouts, the United States attacked Afghanistan, focusing on regions controlled by the Taliban and locations where terrorists were believed to be hiding.
One outcome of almost any military action is what is known as collateral damage. That's the unintended harm done to civilians and non-military targets. One of the first sad facts that the U.S. government accepted was that innocent people would die in Afghanistan. President Bush assured the Afghan people that they were not the targets of American bombs. He also tried to show American friendship by directing the military to drop food packets into the same country it was bombing. Food and other aid to Afghanistan had become weapons in the new war. With these weapons, the U.S. aims to win the loyalty of the Afghans by demonstrating concern for their terrible hardships. Some Afghans have complained that the show of concern was too late and that the U.S. had ignored them for too long. Afghanistan is located in Central Asia. Since ancient times, it has been at the crossroads of great empires. The ancient Silk Route brought caravans of traders through the Afghan deserts. Waves of warriors conquered and claimed the land for themselves. In modern times, Afghanistan became an international battleground in 1979 when troops from the Soviet Union invaded. After the withdrawal of Soviet forces, a civil war continued to tear Afghanistan apart. Decades of fighting destroyed the country's roads, dams, telephone lines, hospitals, and schools. For at least the past 3 years, a drought has withered those crops that weren't already destroyed by war.
More than half of the Afghan population is under the age of 20. That means that more than half of the country knows nothing but war, starvation, and misery. Life is especially hard on the children of Afghanistan. About 1 out of every 4 Afghanis dies before reaching the age of 5. Of those who survive, few go to school or even learn to read. Under the Taliban government, girls were not allowed to go to school. In the countryside, only about 3 out of every 100 girls learn to read.
It may be easy for terrorism to take root in a place like Afghanistan, where daily life is such a struggle. And it may be easy for some Afghanis to direct their frustrations at the U.S., a country full of the opportunities and resources they lack. That's why the American battle plan in Afghanistan has 2 aims: to destroy the terrorists and their supporters, and to offer hope for better times to come for the Afghan people. In his State of the Union address in January of 2002, President Bush promised to help rebuild a strong Afghanistan.
America and Afghanistan are now allies against terror. We'll be partners in rebuilding that country.
But is it really America's job to improve conditions in Afghanistan? For more than 20 years, Afghanistan has failed to govern itself, to feed itself, to provide law and order for its citizens. How can outside nations help a country that can't seem to help itself? There's no easy answer, but a growing number of world leaders agree that places like Afghanistan will continue to threaten the security of the world unless they can meet the needs of their own people.
now is the time for us to go back to the basics, to tackle the challenges faced by Afghanistan, and to provide whatever assistance we can. The challenges faced by Afghanistan concern not only the country itself, but also the humanity as a whole. In other words, these are my challenges and your challenges as well.
Still, the commitment of world leaders does not guarantee the success of their effort. Afghanistan has few paved roads or power plants to provide electricity. It has no functioning banking system, few schools, a shattered economy, and for now, a temporary government headed by Hamid Karzai.
We need your help. We need your help to begin a new life for those millions of children and women and wounded and disabled, victimized by years of trauma and terrorism. Help us begin a new life. Help us stand again on our feet.
Even with international support, the challenge of turning Afghanistan into a functioning country is staggering. For President Bush, it's a challenge worth taking because he believes there's no better alternative.
We can't stop short. If we stop now, leaving terror camps intact and terror states unchecked, our sense of security would be false and temporary. History has called America and our allies to action, and it is both our responsibility and our privilege to fight freedom's fight.